The room was an echo chamber of loneliness. Helena sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the wall. She had made a life of ruin, a path of wreckage. There was no going back, only waiting. She had spent years believing the universe was a place of arbitrary cruelty, where violence was the only language and trust was the quickest way to the grave. Now, she was simply waiting for the final, ultimate abandonment. One afternoon, a guard slid a thin envelope under her cell door. It was addressed in a steady, hopeful script. It was from a woman named Sister Ruth. Helena expected the usual letter, condemnation, or an empty promise instead. Helena, the letter read, "I read your story, and I saw a desert. But deserts are not places of death. They are places where a seed must be buried for a greater kind of life to begin. I am not here to judge the desert you made, but to tell you that my God is the one who parts the Red Sea, and He worked many miracles. He has great plans for each of us." Helena crumpled the paper. God had abandoned her decades ago. Amazing grace of God, a force so boundless it didn't look for the worthy, but created worthiness in the broken. She spoke of redemption as not merely a clean slate, but as a priceless, unique mosaic built from the pieces of the shattered life. She explained that God's love was infinite. "I have a dream," Sister Ruth wrote. "I want to legally adopt you, Helena. I want to give you a name, a mother, and a family that will never abandon you." Helena wept that night, not tears of sorrow, but of shock. An honest, pure offer of adoption, a choice to claim her, the notorious inmate, as kin. It was the ultimate, defiant act against the world's condemnation. This new bond became the turning point. Helena realized the truth of the concept. God's amazing plan wasn't to magically appear and fix her past, but to send someone to demonstrate unconditional love in the present. When Sister Ruth visited, she never flinched from the reality of the past, but she held the gaze of the future. "I can't undo what I did, Mama Ruth," Helena confessed one day, tears staining her jumpsuit. "The forgiveness I seek is too big. My sins are a mountain." Sister Ruth touched her hand through the wire mesh. "God's plan is amazing, dear heart. When you commit your mountain of sin to Him, He doesn't just forgive it. He moves it. He doesn't say, 'You deserve this grace.' He says, 'I freely give this grace so that my power, and the power of redemption, can be fully known in the face of the world's condemnation.' That's why He never gave up on you, even when you had given up on yourself." Helena began to pray. She studied the scriptures. She realized that the deepest part of God's amazing plan was not about the tragedy of her life, but the miracle of her soul's rescue. In her final days, Helena reflected on the simple phrase that had replaced the anger and despair in her heart: "God never gives up." She recognized that the purpose of her life was not found in her actions, but in her reception of an amazing love she had never earned, a love delivered by a woman who chose her, thereby demonstrating the infinite grace of the Heavenly Father who chose her first. The world saw the judgment. Helena saw the redemption. The plan was amazing, not because she was saved from her final fate, but because she was saved in spite of it. Helena left the world at peace, claimed not by the chaos of her past, but by the love of a mother and the relentless grace of the God who had sent her.